Hi, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Johnny, and finally we're gonna talk about something that is not Zelda.
Back to the good old reviews.
You are a ninja, living in what may very well be the last human settlement on Earth after a war against demons took place generations ago. Legend tells that one day a hero will come from the west to assist in the battle against them when they return. On this day the demon attack began, and while a little bit late, the hero sure came, rescued your people and gave you a mission. Take this scroll to the top of the mountain on the far east. And so started the journey of the messenger.
The game sets this high-stakes plot, but your main dialogues through it all are with the shopkeeper that sells your upgrades, and are overflowing with comedy, some fourth-wall breaking sarcasm, and at times highlighting the somewhat nonsensical video game logic of things. In every level there are new optional chats to have and stories to hear from your robed merchant, usually in the shapes of a fable with a moral lesson and a backstory about the area boss, both enhancing the world building.
While I expected an updated ripoff of the original Ninja Gaiden, the gameplay feels much more like a Castlevania, exploring the areas and unlocking new gadgets and abilities to reach new areas.
The game starts off simple enough, just run to the right and slash enemies on your way, but as you progress, it starts getting harder, especially when it comes to platforming. You have to use a combination of several mechanics to be able to finish certain areas. The most used one is the air jump, which is basically a double jump, but with a very interesting caveat. You can only use the second jump after hitting an enemy or an object, and as long as you have something to hit, you can stay airborne as long as you want. Combine that with the warp dart, the wingsuit, and a few other gadgets, and you can pull off some pretty interesting moves.
Just like the good old 8-bit era games, the messenger is not exactly a walk in the park, so you can expect to die a lot. And instead of having the old lives and continues system, here we have Quarble. Quarble is an imp-like creature who is assigned to the messenger to prevent him from dying. He possesses a magical ring that allows him to control space and time and pull the messenger out of harm's way seconds before his ultimate doom. But he doesn't do that for free, oh no. After saving the player, Quarble will follow you around and eat any time shards collected, which is the currency used to buy upgrades, until he is either satisfied or gets bored.
There's something very important about not only the gameplay, but this game in general, that I feel will be a little like a minor spoiler, but know that it was shown since the very first teaser trailer. However, I think it would be a better experience to find it out during your gameplay, so I'll first spoil the end of this video. I fully recommend that you play this game, with only what you know so far, and I think it will surprise you halfway through. Just remember to mark this video in your watch later list.
Having said that, if you still are with us, remember that this was already part of the trailers, so here it goes, there's no turning back now. There is a bit of time traveling in the game. At a specific point in the story, you are sent forward in time, and this becomes a main game mechanic as then you become able to traverse portals between two eras, which have some different geographical elements, either blocking your path or opening new areas to explore, masterfully taking off the linearity of the game and making the previous stages more Metroidvania-like and fully explorable.
With the time-changing mechanic, the art style and music change accordingly in a nice fluid manner. In the past, both the visuals and audios are 8-bit, closely resembling the NES, in special the original Ninja Gaiden. And in the future, everything becomes a beautifully detailed 16-bit Super NES-like game.
The soundtrack is easily one of the best in indie games I've ever heard, and its transitions between eras is amazing, taking the 8-bit sound and adding more effects on top for the 16-bit in such a smooth way that only enhances the already incredible gameplay.
All the areas of the game are pretty unique, each following a theme ranging from dark and creepy catacombs to sunny bamboo forests. And be sure to check the background of each area while exploring, to find hidden secrets and Easter eggs related to the stories the shopkeeper told you.
Let's go back in time to when he said,
I fully recommend that you play this game, with only what you know so far, and I think it will surprise you halfway through.
It is without a doubt one of the best games I've ever played in the last years, not only among indies or side-scrollers. This game is amazing, and manages to surpass most AAA titles of similar styles.
Also, if you like a challenge, there's plenty of replayability with the New Game Plus, that increases in difficulty each cycle, up to New Game Plus 999. Yeah, I know, it sounds pretty absurd, but it's true. And this time around, things are a bit different. Aside from being harder, Now you have to pay Quarble to revive you in advance, and if you can't afford it, you're sent back to New Game Plus 1, having to start your quest all over again.
And so far, there's also a free DLC called Picnic Panic that expands the game a bit with a new threat emerging from a tropical island in an alternate reality that absurdly increases the difficulty. And they did have plans to release more DLCs, but so far there hasn't been any news, but I'm still hoping they will launch them eventually.
That's it for today. As always, please remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more.
And you can click here to check our last video, which was a Zelda theory, where we talked about the hero from 10,000 years ago from Breath of the Wild. And here for the last review we did about the very first Zelda game.
See you next video.
Godspeed, viewers!